Discover the art of finding serenity and balance amidst the chaos of daily life by participating in our online yoga course. Sign up to experience the transformative benefits of yoga. The link is in the description.
I know what you're thinking. Logan, you're not on your typical impulsive set, and you're absolutely right. The backdrop behind me is probably not fooling you. There's a good reason for that. We have a very, very special guest today. One of the biggest crowds we've had as well. There's got to be, 700 to 1,000 people.
Closer to the latter.
Yeah, standing behind the cameras right now. Hit that subscribe button, guys. I'm going to say before this episode starts, take out a notepad. Honestly, this could be one of the most impactful, impulsive episodes we've ever had, with one of the most special guests we've ever had. And it's actually why we're sitting outside. I got the opportunity from my dear friend and ex-roommate, Andre, to have this guest on our podcast. And he said, the only way he'll do it is if we were able to do it outside. And obviously with a studio in my garage, that doesn't count. I said, you know what? We'll move it outside for this guy. Because I really do, I believe in him, and I was able to attend an event that you guys had the other day, and I just learned how badass and how full of wisdom this guy sitting across from me is. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we have in our presence one of the most prominent, most viewed spiritual gurus in the world on the premises. Ladies and gentlemen, Sadhguru. My maid, Maria, found out you were coming.
I saw her standing behind the van and shooting me.
She was sweating. I said, Maria, why are you sweating? She said, I love this guy. I follow all of his stuff. And she said, I think she's here somewhere. She's right over there. She is so excited for you to be here. And when I was at Andre's, we're all waiting for you to show up. And I don't know what to expect, right? But you come cruising in on a motorcycle, took off your helmet, and it's like a divine light just like was shining down on you, and then you took your seat, sang a hymn, and gave these nuggets of wisdom that made so much sense to me. And you caught my attention when you began speaking by saying you were the one that was skeptical of everything. I'm like you, see it to believe it type of guy.
You're trying.
I'm trying, so that's why I started growing out my beard, because yours is obviously so long, plentiful, bountiful, and full of wisdom. But you caught my attention because the things you were saying seem so grounded in reality. They seem so believable and practical, utilitarian, and applicable to life, and they made sense to me. So just happy to have you here. Andre, again, thank you for making this happen. You know a lot about him, and I want to turn to you to give us some talking points on where to start, because one thing I learned in just listening to the event you held the other day was the man knows everything. He's got the answers to everything. No, you do. You have the answers to everything. We got some relationship problems we want to ask you about.
Because none of us know what is everything, so it's okay.
Fantastic. So, yeah, brother, just appreciate you. How you doing? Thanks for joining us today.
Just rode for an hour from outside of LA. Whoa, the tarmac is burning hot.
Yeah.
This is nice out here.
Yeah, it's hot today. So you've just been traveling the past month over all across America on your motorcycle, correct? Yeah, and activating the conversation of spirituality and getting to witness the beauty that the spiritual people here have, and with the indigenous people and Native Americans. And so what has been the most fascinating thing that you've been revealed and seen through your travels past month?
Well, there are too many things, you'll need many days to listen to that. So let me tell you, the most prominent thing that stuck in my mind is Matotipila, which is unfortunately today being referred to as the Devil's Tower. It is a phenomena that all of you young people must experience. It is so incredibly powerful and so rare. I don't think that form of energy which we refer to in the human body, can I elaborate a bit? Or
Sure.
this is just an introduction?
Yeah, please.
So, in the human body, we recognize that for us to be so complex, as you know, we are the most complex creatures on this planet, which a whole lot of human beings are suffering unfortunately, but the complexity is what makes our life rich. To make this life so complex, there are many… our energies are finding expression in many different ways. We identify 114 different ways in which it's finding expression. Of this, it is categorized as 7. So 7 categories, which I think in California you would have heard of 7 chakras and stuff like that. In this there is one particular chakra which is referred to as the Vishuddhi, a region which is in the throat region. This is normally in, I would say, 99% of the human beings, it remains in its seed form throughout their life, it never blossoms, this one aspect. Because if this blossoms, there is such power to that human being that he can touch beyond his physical reach, literally touch, I'm saying. Physically, you can touch life which is beyond your physical reach, you can see things beyond your visual capabilities. So, this is one of the most rarest aspects of human development, which happens only with a very few people who are concertedly focused on that. But here there is a natural structure exuding that dimension in such a powerful way. In many ways, as I've been looking at the Native American culture, their spirituality and how they express themselves, when I see in many ways the fundamental is this energy source, because if anybody wants to propagate or transmit spiritual process, transmit mystical dimensions, it's very important that there's a solid energy source. I was always wondering, where is that energy source? Because we always create one. Before we transmit, we create an energy source which is always like a backup. Without that, you will dissipate yourself. But here there is a natural formation which is standing over 800 feet, phenomenally reverberating. It's a must for all of you young people, you must experience this.
I wanna get into how you started this spiritual journey. I found that fascinating when I listened to you speak at Andres. You were 25 years old.
Still am.
Still am, I can tell. Multiple successful businesses. And you were praised in the town as being a man of success, a man who had made it. And I probably should let you tell the story about your life.
Again.
I asked, I'm sure you've told this story so many times, but you know, our audience hasn't heard it, or some of them may have not, and I know when I first heard it, I found it fascinating. So maybe just a brief introduction to how you got started into knowing everything in the universe. I'm serious, he has all the answers. Wait till he starts, bro.
So, see, this happened to me when I was just about 4.5 years of age. Suddenly one day I realized, actually I don't know a thing. Don't know a thing means just don't know anything. If somebody gives me a glass of water, I would be staring at this glass of water for hours. Because I don't know what is water. I know how to use it. Even now, you know how to use water, but do you know what it is really?
2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen.
Really? That's textbook nonsense.
But what are molecules? But what are atoms? Like that?
Right now, 2/3 of the planet is water, covered with water, covered by water rather. It is available in all the 3 states, it's liquid, solid, air, gaseous, everything. Wherever if we want to search for life, we search for a drop of water. Somebody finds a drop of water, a trace of water in Mars, and now we think life is possible. So this is the very basis of our life. But do we know what it is? Actually, with all the scientific exploration, we do not know a single atom, we know how to use it. Even the invisible atom, we know how to break it, how to fuse it, how to make a bomb out of it, how to kill everybody from it, but we don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. So if I find a leaf, I'm staring at it for 4 hours, 5 hours. If I sit up in the night, I'm just staring at darkness for hours. My father being a physician, he started thinking that I need psychiatric evaluation. Doctors, you know.
Senior Mike said. He was right.
Yeah, maybe. So, see, oh, it's him, I thought. So, in this condition, they sent me to school. My mother said, you must pay attention to the teachers, you're always at something else. So I went and paid attention to the teachers. The kind of attention that they had never imagined anybody would pay to them. Nobody had ever paid that kind of attention. I sit there and I know their past, present and future, staring at them, staring at them, staring at them. Sometimes somebody said, don't stare at me like this. I'm just a little boy, 4, 5-year-old boy, but they're kind of uncomfortable the way I'm staring at them. So I went to school and initially they started saying things and I sort of understood what they're trying to say. And then I realized, teacher after teacher coming and making actually sounds and sounds and sounds. See, right now, I'm making sounds. Because both of us think we know English language, you're making meaning out of this. Suppose I start speaking in any one of the Indian languages, they will be just sounds for you, isn't it? We're just making sounds. This language is a conspiracy between two people. I make this sound, you make that meaning. I make that sound, you make that meaning, you know? This is the whole thing. So I stopped making meanings and just started listening to the sounds. And every 45 minutes a new teacher will come and make sounds and sounds and sounds. It became very amusing and a big smile spread on my face. But they were not amused at all. So I saw that there was no point and I went to school only when it was absolutely necessary. The rest of the time I had more interesting explorations in the world. So one day it happened, now about 11 years ago, this school where I studied almost 45 years ago or more, they came to invite me for their 125th anniversary, school anniversary. I said, see, please, why me? I was not just a bad student, I was not even a student, I only came when it was absolutely necessary. Why me? They said, see, our school has produced ministers in the cabinet, our school has produced sports stars, our school has produced cinema stars, but you are the only mystic, so you must come. I said, okay, and I went. I went there and stood up in the quadrangle to speak. I looked around, same oppressive buildings. And then I looked at this particular room and then I remember, I was around 12 years of age. One afternoon, because at that time I'm in this condition, I don't know anything. If I pay attention to something, I can't take my eyes off it. I'm just looking at it, still trying to figure it out, what is it? So they can't get my attention. So he asked me a question, something. I just look at him. I don't even hear the question, okay? I hear sounds. I don't make meanings out of it, something. Everybody's blabbering something all the time. So I just look at him and he tries to get an answer from me for about 35–40 minutes. He tries hard to make me say something. When I don't know anything, what is there to say? So I was in that condition at that time. For many days I wouldn't speak. Because there's nothing to say, what is there to say? I don't know a thing. So I was just looking at him. After 35–40 minutes of frustration, he got so mad. He came and held me by the shoulder, shook me violently like that and said, you must either be the divine or the devil. I think you're the later. Well, I was not insulted or abused by this. My problem is, what is this, what is that, what is that, what is that? One thing was clear, this is me. This guy confused me about this also. I look like this, what is this? Is this divine or devil? What the hell is this? Suddenly I didn't know what is this. Till now I was okay. I did not know anything about anything, but I knew this is me. Suddenly this guy confused me. So that is when I started sitting with my eyes closed, trying to see what is this. Well, it took a few years, another 12–13 years, before I realized what is this.
And what was that?
Huh?
What was that?
See, right now, what you call as myself is largely the boundaries of your body. We can do an experiment actually.
Can you? Sure, let's do it.
So, you hold both your hands together and with your eyes closed, what you do is you intensely rub it like this for about 30 seconds, as intensely as possible.
It's gonna get hot. I don't like this. I really don't.
Now,
Sadhguru, my skin is burning.
now hold your palms about 4 inches away from each other. Something happening between them? Some kind of sensation happening between them?
Yeah.
Yeah, my hands are hot.
Not about hands being hot, between the two palms, is there something happening?
I don't know.
Please try it again, not with pressure but with speed.
Yeah. It feels like there's like a magnet between the two.
So there is a sensation. What I'm trying to tell you is, how did you fix the boundaries of your body? See, right now, do one thing, take your right hand and touch your left hand. Is that you? Is that you?
Yeah.
Yes. Touch the chair on which you're sitting. Is that you?
No.
How do you know this?
Because I could get off of it and walk away in the chair.
Oh, this a whole lot of people have walked away from their body, haven't they? What about all the dead people, huh?
Don't they come back on Halloween?
I think the most important notion here is to understand that human experience is 100% self-contained, which you talk about.
No, that's not what I'm saying. See, right now, you're fixing the boundaries of who you are only from the boundaries of sensation. Where there is sensation, it's you. Where there is no sensation, it's not you, isn't it?
Can I just ask a question? I don't want to get too far ahead, but I want to bring this back for the impulsive audience who may not be aligned with this way of thinking or know who you are exactly or your approach. I have always been one to have a tough time with all of this. Me and Andre have had many conversations about it. I'm open-minded to it, but at the end of the day, I always have a Verizon bill to pay. I have health insurance that needs to
You go to the phone bills. No, if you don't use the phone, there are no bills actually.
Okay, great. Right. But great, and I love that. But I've got bills.
No, let's come to the Verizon later. Right now, first of all, how do you define who you are and what you are? Essentially, whatever is within the boundaries of your sensation is you. Whatever is outside the boundaries of your sensation is something else, isn't it? See, right now, this water in this vessel, is this you?
No.
Before paying the Verizon, you need to drink water, all right?
Yes.
Is this you?
No, it's not, it's not.
It's not.
No.
See, like I said,
Yes,
it's hard for me
listen,
to get on your level to answer the question,
No.
is the water in the glass me?
It's
No,
not
I've
you-
been taught that the
Yes.
water in the glass is not me.
Yes, but if
I'm
you drink
trying
it,
here.
if you drink it, will it become you?
See, that's where I don't know.
No, right now, two-thirds of your body is water.
So it,
Or-
it is me then.
It is you.
But then is it still you in the toilet after you pee it out as well?
That's up to you to decide.
Okay.
Then you'll get
I'm
flushed
trying.
out.
What are you gonna decide?
Well, I feel like it's more kind of goes through, you know what I mean, like a
No,
car.
it doesn't go through, please. Hello, it's not like gas. I know, it's not like gas or engine oil. Here, your body is a certain composition of food that you've eaten, water that you drank and the air that you breathe, yes or no?
Yes.
So right now, we're just using water as an example. If it's here in this vessel, it's definitely not you, it's 100% clear. But the moment you drink it, it goes and integrates itself into this body on some level. A part of it may go out, that's a different matter, but the rest of it stays, all right? So now that it is here, this water which is in this body, are you not experiencing this as myself?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. May I ask a question? And then no, like this is a legit question. I'm very new to this.
No, you're not new to life, I'm only asking you simple
I
questions about
wouldn't be
life.
too sure. I don't know. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm here today. My question is this: if the water is me and I drink the water,
No, I didn't say it's you, I just asked you a question.
oh, okay. So is it or is it?
It
not?
wasn't.
It-
Well, he's in the middle of a spiel, bro. He's not done yet. So maybe put a pin in your question.
No, the simple thing is this, is it true your body is an accumulation of food, water, air and whatever else you consumed?
Correct.
Yes. So similarly, the water is here, it's not you, you know that. But the moment it's inside, you experience this as myself, isn't it? Why? Because it's within the boundaries of your sensation. So your idea of who you are is only because of the boundaries of your sensation. If you touch this, you know this is not me. If you touch this, you know this is me. Because here there are sensations, here there are no sensations. But boundaries of your sensation can be stretched. Simply if you did this, you will feel sensations between your arms, between your palms. Well, you have heard somebody had an unfortunate incident and they chopped off somebody's leg, and still the experience of leg is still there, though the physical leg is not there, because there is a sensory body. As there is a physical body, there is a sensory body. This sensory body, how large it is depends on how intense your life energies are. If your life energies are very effervescent and intense, your sensory body becomes larger than your physical body. Why everybody is rubbing each other all the time is because they want to experience somebody else as a part of themselves. If your sensory body became as large as this space, you would experience everybody here as myself. This is what you're thinking is love, this is what you're thinking is sexuality. All that's happening is your sensory body, because of a certain moment of exuberance, has expanded. Because it's expanded, somebody feels like they're just a part of you at that moment. So now, what yoga means is, you make your life energy so exuberant, it takes some work. You make it so exuberant, if you sit here, the entire universe is a part of you, because your sensory body is stretched like that. So your whole experience of life as to what is you and what is not you is determined by where there are sensations, it's you, where there are no sensations, it's not you, isn't it?
Correct. I'm on board.
Everybody is.
You have no choice. Where I was going with that question, and I'm trying to phrase it the right way, is
Just
that
change the phone company.
leave the phone, forget the phone company, we don't need phones, right? I guess
Anyway, in half the country, that phone company doesn't work.
Right, got it. Where I was going with it is just that I think to a lot of people that listen to this conversation, this is the conversation itself and the entire thought process is viewed by many people as a luxury that many people don't have the time, the ability to sit in and to understand, where does my life force end? I have 4 kids. We live in a 1-bedroom, apartment in New
You
York
shouldn't
City.
have made 4 kids if you have only 1 bedroom.
Right.
That's a
Okay.
simple
Okay.
thing.
Cool. Well, I get it. Now we're talking about the morality of parenthood. I get it. But what I'm saying is, people find themselves in circumstances whether they plan to be there or not, and life has a way of dictating how much energy we can devote to this type of extracurricular. Some would call it paranormal. Some would call it theoretical
No,
thinking.
you should not,
let me just answer this question.
one second, you should
Okay.
not put labels on things that you don't understand.
Perfect,
You just
okay.
say, right now I don't have time, I don't have energy to do that, I will come to that, okay?
Okay.
But don't put names on this, that this is extracurricular, it's not extracurricular. It is most fundamental to life. If you want to live a sensible life, it's important that you know at least what is the nature of your existence. Without knowing the nature of your existence, if you try to handle this, you'll make a fool of yourself with the world.
Right.
So now that we know that, and you ran us through that, now that we know the nature of our existence.
No, we don't.
No, that's not how it works.
That's what you always. I'm the water that I drank.
No, you don't come to a conclusion like that. It is opening up one possibility. This is for you to wonder, what is the nature of my existence, which he thinks is a luxury. I'm saying it's like this. You want to handle something, let's say you want to handle this camera. You know nothing about it and you handle it. What will you produce, I'm asking?
It's probably some horse shit.
Yes, that's what life is for most people, that's what he's saying.
Horse shit.
In one room they had 5 children. Why? There's one room, you should know what to do.
I'm with you. I guess my question is, if I go to the grocery store, right, and I get to the register and I'm buying my lettuce and all of my organic vegetables, I get to the register and they say, that'll be $62.50.
No,
and I
this
explain to them,
organic vegetable and all is too extracurricular, just buy it in Walmart.
Okay, so I'm at the Walmart counter and they ask me for $62 and I say, but I have found out the fundamental principles of life and I have a life force that exists in between my hands when I rub them together. What I'm getting at is how do you enthrall and ignite the masses to take part in this conversation about what life means? That's where I was trying to get to with this whole question. That's what I was taking a long
See,
route.
I want you to understand, you're dismissing a whole lot of human beings as masses. There are no masses, there are individual human beings everywhere. If you have the patience, if you have the compassion, if you have the involvement, even if you go into the slum, there also there are individual human beings, there is no slum dwellers there. Hello? Yes or no?
Yes.
This mass of people, there's no such people. There are individual human beings. Every one of them is concerned about his or her life. Every one of them want to live well. I'm saying, if you want to use the camera well, the first thing is to read at least the instruction manual, even if you don't go for a training, isn't it? Hello? Isn't it so? So I'm just talking about the instruction manual for such a complex machine that's been given to you. The most sophisticated technology on the planet is this one, the human mechanism. Without knowing a thing about it, if you think you can handle it well, you cannot.
If I can just interject here real quick, I think that for me, when it comes to spiritual seeking, it boils down to the question of who am I, right? What is the nature of my existence? And the pointing, right, is to understand who I am, I have to first understand who I am not. And so I feel like he was touching on, like, most people are so identified with their mind and their body processes, and they think that is them. And so I think what he was trying to do is give a distinction as to the separation of who you are and what your mind and body are.
See, that is one aspect. First of all, I'm saying, if you want to conduct anything well, will you conduct it well if you know everything about it? Or will you conduct it well if you know nothing about it? That's all. You want to stand in the grocery line. If you are smart, you will never stand in the grocery line. I have not stood in a grocery line for years. All right, for decades.
Right.
Why?
Because you grow your own vegetables. You have a green thumb.
It doesn't matter, but somehow you will not end up doing basic things for the rest of your life. You will get to do something better, because every human being is wanting to do something better, wanting to do something bigger, wanting to live bigger, yes or no?
Yes, but I don't think many human beings are willing to activate on their desires. I say this all the time. Everyone wants bigger, better,
Yes,
faster,
that's the whole thing.
more expensive, more valuable.
They are only complaining like this.
Right, but aren't willing to do what it
Those who
takes
are
to
willing
make it
to
happen.
understand what is the nature of their life and act upon it.
So the curiosity that would lead to the answer to that question, and it sounds like what originally drove you to meditate on that mountain, because I know, again, at 25 years old, there you had a spiritual awakening where you said every cell in your body was some sort of ecstasy. You had no sense of time, and you kept having these revelations. And one time you sat outside for 13 days, and you opened your eyes. You thought it had been what I think you said 25 minutes. So did that sense of curiosity? Is that what led you to go down the path you went?
See, we must understand, it is intrinsic to human intelligence to want to know something more than what is there. If you leave your dog out here, he's just sniffing out everything. Even he's curious, he wants to know everything that's there in this garden. What's wrong with the human beings? The only thing that's wrong is they've arrived at too many conclusions, either because of religious beliefs or philosophical beliefs or ideologies or some nonsense that they've concluded, and they've lost the sense of the intrinsic nature of your intelligence is wants to expand, wants to know. This is not somebody has to teach it to you. This is natural. You leave a child, it wants to look at everything, isn't it? So where did you lose it? Because you made up your philosophies of socialism.
If I can just riff on that just for a second. For me, when I was growing up, a lot of my friends called me, like, they gave me the title of truth seeker, and it was because I asked so many questions relentlessly and tried to poke holes in what a lot of people would say. And
You're really unplugged, huh?
Just plug in.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Carry on.
And so you speak about how creating conclusions and beliefs about the world, when if you really scope out and take a macro view of, like, we really don't know what's going on here within humanity. If we scope out and we see that we're a blue marble hurling around a gas of fire at incredible speeds, it's like, take yourself back and realize that the beliefs that I made about, just dogmas and religions and politics and everything that you hold so close is hindering us from being able to look at things for what they actually are. And so if you could just speak on how creating beliefs and conclusions about everything destroy our ability to seek, I think it would be very valuable.
See, when you say, I believe something, what does it mean? I'll ask you a simple question. Can I?
Sure, of course.
Extracurricular question. How many of you believe in God? Just raise one hand. Okay. How many of you believe you have two hands? Just raise one hand.
Do you believe you have two hands? No, of course.
One will do, one will do.
Just to prove it.
So I'm asking you, do you believe you have two hands or do you know that you have two hands?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
How is both? If you know you have two hands, where is the need to believe you have two hands?
One follows the other.
No.
Why not?
If you know something, why do you have to believe it?
If I know something, why do I have to believe it?
Yeah, you know it?
I believe one follows the other.
No.
I believe the truth. I have two hands, that's the truth, I believe it.
See, the word believe essentially means you do not know something, but you believe it is so.
Sure, but you could believe and know something.
See, I believe you are a good guy. What does it mean?
You don't know that.
I don't know. And that's what I'm saying, I don't know. I don't know what you are, but I believe you're a good guy.
Okay.
I believed he's nice and I went to him and he was terrible.
So are you saying forget about the belief and just stick
I'm
to
not
what we
saying.
know?
But first understand the distinction between knowing something and believing something.
Got it.
So whatever we do not know, it is most wonderful of you and human of you to see I do not know. Because I do not know is a tremendous possibility. Tremendous possibility. The moment you destroy I do not know, your entire learning and expansion process has come to a cease. And this is what you're doing with your belief. That you believe this, you believe that. All these days people were saying, I believe God. Now they're saying in California, I believe in myself. I don't know what that means.
Well, I believe in God, and I do know that there's a God. So you're saying to sacrifice my belief?
I am not asking you to do anything, I am asking you to look at the distinction between knowing something and not knowing something.
But do you feel like this would be tricky for Christians, saying that
I don't want to get into a religious debate here. All I'm saying
brought
is,
up religion.
there is… No, I'm talking about belief, I didn't even talk about religious
You
belief.
said other religions are nonsense.
When?
Like right before you got into this
I don't think
room.
Was that the term?
Yeah,
No.
I promise, I could replay it.
I don't think
Did he
you
use
could.
that
I don't
term?
think you can say that.
I didn't say that.
I'll check it, but yeah, I promise.
No, he
He
didn't.
goes,
say
yeah,
that.
but yeah, I promise. What, can I ask this?
You believe that I said it. I didn't say it.
We knew this was going to happen today. We're not experts. Just bear with us. I'm going to stand by my co-host here. He's going to eat shit on that one. Okay. What is
One thing is good for the nation's population. I'm just listing the benefits. Why brahmacharya? What is brahmacharya first? Brahman means the ultimate or the divine. Charya means the path. One who is on the path of the ultimate or one who is on the path of the divine is a brahmachari. One who is on the path of the divine means see, after all, everybody is in search of joyfulness, isn't it? Knowingly or unknowingly. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Because you could not find joy, you settled for pleasure. Pleasure is not joy. Pleasure is just a shadow of joy. It's beautiful, but it's very limited. Whenever you involve yourself in pleasure, if you want to have pleasure, you need something or somebody to have pleasure, isn't it? Yes? The deeper you go into pleasure, the deeper your bondage with this something or somebody. Yes? Suppose this something or somebody is taken away from you, you will be broken. Isn't it so? If you have a very deep involvement with pleasure, that something or somebody which gives you pleasure, if it's taken away from you, aren't you broken? So, your existence becomes that of huge bondage. Bondage is not something that any human being enjoys. There is something within you which is always wanting to be free from all bondage, isn't it? But if you become a pleasure seeker, naturally you're setting up limitations in such a pleasant way that you cannot transcend it. Unpleasant limitations, you can break them. Pleasant limitations, you cannot break them, isn't it? Lot of your shackles, you have gold-plated them and you're wearing them like ornaments, aren't you? Yes. Your limitations, you're celebrating your limitations. Once you start celebrating your limitations, then there is no way to become free of that. So brahmacharya means you're on the path of the divine. That means, first step towards that is you're joyful by your own nature. Whenever you're very happy, you're joyful, have you noticed you don't seem to need anything? Yes? On a particular day you're very happy. If you don't eat, if you don't sleep, it doesn't matter. Is that so? You're unhappy, then everything has to be perfect, you complain about everything in the world. Isn't it so? When you're really joyful, just see, it sets you free. When you're unhappy, everything is important, everything has to be in a particular way. For everything you will complain. Unhappy people are always complaining. Happy people are always easy to work with, easy to be with, because nothing matters when you're happy. Everything is flexible. Which is freedom? Joy is freedom or pleasure is freedom? Joy is obviously freedom, isn't it? So, you're seeing how to become joyful. If you seek it outside, you will invariably end up becoming a pleasure seeker. Anyway, the source of joy is within you. Whenever you were happy, did happiness happen from within you or did it rain upon you from outside? Always within you, isn't it? So if the source of happiness is within you, searching for it outside is quite a stupid thing. Yes? It is just that the source of happiness is within you, you are using an external stimulus to bring forth the joy in you. Or in other words, your joy is on push start. Shall we fix self-start on it? Don't want? If you put self-start on your joy, then you're a brahmachari. Now, you're on the path of the divine. You're joyful by your own nature. Have all the brahmacharis here become like that? Maybe not, but that's the intention. They're working towards that. To work towards that, you need a certain space and time of your own, that you don't have other things to handle in your life. So, they have chosen a certain way of life. Now, yesterday we went up the mountain, just carrying your own body weight and reaching there, many of you, your legs are trembling, isn't it? Suppose you want to carry 4 people on your shoulders and walk up the mountain, how many of you would make it? Most of you would not make it, isn't it? So that's why brahmacharya. You understand? You are planning to climb a big peak. If you had the strength to carry 10 people on your shoulders and walk, that would be fantastic. But we rarely find such people. It's better to walk alone. So they walk alone. Now, your problem is that by the time you became 14, your intelligence got hijacked by your hormones so much, you can't understand or you cannot accept how somebody can be free from it. Somebody can just sit here and be happy. They don't have to get married, they don't have to run behind the opposite sex, they don't have to do this or that. They're just happy doing simple things in their life, more joyful than you, more intense than you. So does it mean all of you should become a brahmachari? No, all of you should become a brahmachari internally. In terms of lifestyle, not necessarily. Brahmacharya does not mean just celibacy, okay? That is just one of the aspects that have been taken up as a supportive system to become a brahmachari. Brahmacharya means you are walking the path of the divine, that you are ecstatic by your own nature. You can be married and still be a brahmachari. It is possible. because you are joyful by your own nature. You are not trying to extract joy from your husband or wife. You are joyful by your own nature. This is how it should be. The whole world should be brahmachari, isn't it? Everybody should be joyful by their own nature. If two people come together, it should be more a sharing of joy, not extracting joy from each other, isn't it? So those who have decided that they don't want to extract anything from anybody, they want to source their own inner joy, they have taken brahmacharya. And why a certain order has been set up? They have been taken up not just for their realization. If it's just their realization, we can take care of in so many ways. How many of you eaten mangoes? You eaten mangoes? You ate mangoes? No? How many of you have planted mango trees? See, just 10 people have planted mango trees, but everybody has eaten mangoes. It's only because constantly in every generation, those 10 people are planting mango trees, everybody else is eating, isn't it? So, to carry on the spiritual path in its integrity, brahmacharis are needed. Brahmacharis means we are keeping them in such a way that their energies are loose, malleable. We can make anything out of them, just anything out of them. I can combine 10 brahmacharis into one and make 10 brahmacharis into one huge human being, a huge force. We have kept their energies loose, no personality. Whichever way you bend, they will become that way. See, if we take analogies, you are like a pot. You are a karmic pot. A certain karmas, certain influences have molded you into a certain shape. Yes? Now you become a certain type of person. With the process of living, when you were a child, it was little more malleable. When you were a youth, it got little rigid. By the time you're a full adult, it's totally rigid. This is just… we can see the pot is slowly being burnt with the process of life. Now by the time you're reasonably old, it's totally rigid shape. You do anything else with it, it'll break. See, now there's a burnt pot here. If you try to change the shape of this pot, it'll only break into pieces, isn't it? But when it was unburnt, very easily you could mold it into anything. You made 10 unburnt pots. Tomorrow if you don't like it, you can put all of them together and make one big pot, isn't it? Now, we are unburning people. We are unburning them into that state where they are very malleable. We can give them any shape, any form. So brahmacharis are working towards that. It's a human sadhana. It is not just… like other systems in the world are doing this, just they take a vow of celibacy. This is not like that. There is a whole system of what they're doing with their energies. There is a whole lot of work that's being done internally. This is just a small part of it. What you see as they being unmarried is just a small part of it. The rest of it is very internal. And people who are willing to dedicate themselves for others' well-being, needed in the society. At any time, if there is nobody in the society who is thinking about others' well-being, that society is heading for ruin, definitely. That's what has happened to this society right now. There are very few people thinking about everybody's well-being. Others are all, what about me, what about me, what about me? If a certain percentage of people are thinking beyond their own well-being, only then a society will remain sane and stable. Otherwise, societies will just go for ruin. Is it not important? There are few people who are not thinking about their own well-being, their own life, they're seeing how to make it happen for somebody else. So brahmacharis are an investment for the future. To keep spirituality in its pristine purity and to transmit it from generation to generation, a small core group of people are needed. Everybody need not take that thing, nor will we take everybody. Every year, hundreds of applications for brahmacharya comes. We just choose 8–10 people out of that, looking at various qualities and various possibilities. We don't take everybody who comes, because it's not necessary, nor can they be like that, nor can they put in the sadhana that is required or demanded out of them. Your personality has to be dependable, conscious. You can mold yourself into any kind of part. Is it not good to have that freedom?
The ground, the blackened skies, the clashing fire, a dance of steel, a test of wills, in every blow, a hero.
Thank you for joining us. Please share your observations on this subject in the comments, subscribe to continue our journey together, and invite others to join this path. See you soon.
With one last cry, he swung his blade and killed the Dark Lord's wicked heel.